tell you what, I am impressed with the fact that you are pretty good with the fundamentals of accounting. So far, so good. Treasury Inspector, I'll yield to you if you have any questions you want to ask me. So, please.
I have a question with the business tax forms TBTX5, I'm sorry, and TBTX4.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the difference between both forms?
The TBTX4 form is primarily a simplified tax filing form. If you're not itemizing too many things, well, then you would use that particular form. If you have a lot to itemize, you would be using the TBTX5 form. For example, on a TBTX4 form, if your business entity has where you're itemizing payroll and payroll only, that's something that you could use on the TBTX4 form. But if you have a situation where you are looking to deduct the cost of healthcare for those who do trade, quote unquote, work for that particular business entity, well, that will be deducted on, or at least itemized, excuse me, on a TBTX5 form. So that's one of the primary distinctions. Also on a TBTX5 form, if someone has a sovereign copyright or trademark or a sovereign patent in our jurisdiction, or any jurisdiction where they are receiving funds into the business entity in the Amexem-Moor-Empire jurisdiction, there are royalties that have to be paid. And there is a royalty collected, and there's a royalty tax in this jurisdiction. So the tax on the royalties would be itemized on a TBTX5 form.
Also, I noticed that here you have current tax periods.
Yes.
For the forms.
Yes.
When is the time limit for these forms to be filed?
All right. In the Amexem-Moor-Empire jurisdiction, all businesses file their taxes every 30 Earth days. Generally, it's the 15th day of the month on the Amexem-Moor calendar every month that the taxes are due to. That's the tax period. Every 30 Earth days, and then the first day of the next calendar month. The party has basically 6 days from the first day of the next calendar month to bring forward the tax form and the taxes. After that, there's penalties and there's fines if they're late, and if they go beyond a particular time period. Generally, within 90 Earth days, if they don't have the fines and the penalties and the tax paid promptly, they may very well have that business ceased. So that's generally how that works inside the Amexem-Moor-Empire jurisdiction. The Department for the Treasury and Budget will look at particular things, and they will report to the Department for the Law and Justice. The Department for the Law and Justice will take a look at the records. They will take the time to do a thorough investigation and then make a determination. If the determination is that this party is in delinquency, they will move before the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court. If they go before the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court, the court will take a look at all the evidence as presented from all parties. And at that juncture, a decision will be rendered one way or the other as to whether or not that party will lose that business, or whether or not they will be given an opportunity to get said taxes paid. But generally, if it comes down to that, the business is generally seized and will remain closed until the disposition has been taken care of by the Imperial Court. So that's how that would work.
Is there anything that can be and cannot be deducted on the business forms?
Which form are we referring to now?
TBTX5?
The TBTX5 is for all itemization. That's the main form that you're going to fill out if you're looking to itemize. Let's say that you provided zakat to a charitable organization, no matter what jurisdiction it's in, as long as you have an appropriate receipt. You have the ability to deduct as much as 10% away from your gross in terms of how much you're gifting. If you have some equipment that you're gifting or donating to someone, preferably or generally rather not-for-profit entities, well, the depreciation has to be looked at, and then from there, as much as 10% of your gross you can have and deducted and donated or gifted equipment as well. And that basically is the limit when it comes to deductions in this jurisdiction. We have very few deductibles and loopholes here. Um, we don't have a value-added tax here either. We just have a 20% flat tax within the Amexem-Moor-Empire Department for the Treasury and Budget. That's how it's specified in the Amexem-Moor-Empire Constitution, Article 6, Section 2.
Now, does this include the operating funds as well as deductions, or no?
Well, no. In this jurisdiction, when someone establishes a business inside of our jurisdiction, there's an annual operating tax. It's 120 ounces of silver. It's not deductible. Effectively, sometimes you have folks that will establish a business and it's dormant. They don't do anything with it. We will maintain it on the registrar and the Imperial Power and Industry Agency for 120 ounces of silver per year. When they don't pay the tax on that, we shut it down. And if someone's looking to make use of the name of that business, they won't be able to do that for 7 Earth years. But after 7 Earth years, if the party who had that name registered in our jurisdiction doesn't come back to make use of it again, well then someone else will be able to acquire it. There's some process to that, but they will be able to start the process after 7 full years.
Also, before it slips my mind, and for people who are listening, or folks, I'm sorry, what is zakat?
Zakat is a charitable gift or donation unto someone that's in need. And folks have the ability to do that to who have a business inside of our jurisdiction, not to individuals per se, however, to non-for-profits in the Amexem-Moor-Empire jurisdiction or any jurisdiction, provided they can show it's a reputable one, provided they can show it's actual operational underway and not under any type of investigation for something of unsavory behavior. Are there any other questions for me, or is there anything I can assist you with?
No, not at this time.
Well, yeah, very good questions, Inspector. I appreciate your time. I suspect that you're getting your hands dirty and getting used to particular things, and you're learning the processes and protocols of the Department for the Treasury and Budget. And I can see some competency there. So you've definitely been doing your independent investigation and doing your studies. So continue in that you thrive, because as you do that particular very important work for the Imperial government, you're helping the machinations of the Imperial government to provide the proper diplomacy and governance apparatus for all the Amexem-Empire nationals and all those within our sphere of influence. So for that, I give honor and respect. We give love, and I say thank you. So with that, I do say peace and love, and Islam.
Islam.